My dad died in a hunting accident when I was 7. It took them a while to find his body. He told me and my mom that he was going out, but he never said where. For a long time, I thought he meant to surprise us with a deer. Now I realize he just wanted some time to himself. "Hey, buddy, come here," he had said in his deep voice, stooping down with a grunt. Mom was mad at him, and he was standing in the doorway about to leave, but he remembered me. I walked up to him hesitantly. Mom was throwing me glances, and I wasn't sure whether it was okay. "I'll be back, okay? Sooner or later, I'll be back," he said. He ruffled my hair. I raised my arms up for a hug, and he obliged. His rifle strap slid off his shoulder. He was sweaty and warm. "Love you, buddy," he whispered in my ear. That's the last time I saw him as I knew him. My dad shot a deer that night. They never found it. The series of events, as explained by the investigators, was that my dad got to the stand around 11. He didn't have any luck, so after an hour or so, he went out walking with a few beers in his pack. Along the way, he got lucky. He stumbled across a massive buck. He fired a shot and hit it. The buck ran a ways and fell, bleeding but alive. My dad was drunk and excited. He tracked the deer down. When he found it, he bent down to inspect it and forgot his rifle's safety. The gun fired and struck my dad in the head. He died instantly. Afterwards, indifferent to it all, the buck laid there panting, regained its strength, and fled. They found the blood-soaked patch of dirt beside my dad's body, distinctly animal. Their blood mingled together. The inspectors didn't say that, but I always imagined it. They never found the deer, but I did. I started seeing a buck around our house in the yard. At first, it stayed at the edge of the woods. I even mentioned it to my mom. We watched it together, walking around the trees, glancing at us. It moved strangely, cautiously, like it was tiptoeing. I would see it every week, and every week I had some new understanding about why, of all deer, of all houses, this deer had chosen ours. First, I was sure it was coincidence, then that it was some other deer. Finally, I knew it was my dad. I knew it from the scar in its side. As time went on, it got closer to the house. It started eating grass in the yard. So, to encourage it, I dug into the shed and laid out some of Dad's old deer feed. Mom didn't like that. When before she would pull me to the window in excitement to see it, she started pulling me away. She grew tired of my fantasy that this was Dad, that their blood was mixed, that they swapped bodies. She was ready to let go, but I wasn't. One night, while my mom was sleeping, I opened the curtain. The deer was eating in the yard. I tapped on the glass. It eyed me cautiously. Then it snuck with those delicate steps up to my window, antlers bobbing. I slid the window open as high as my short arms could and reached out to pet it. The deer stood still. It didn't take its eyes off of me. I ran my hand over the top of its head. "Hey, buddy," the deer whispered. I jolted back. The deer didn't break eye contact. In the moonlight, I thought I saw tears welling there. "Let me in," it said. It was masculine, but it wasn't my dad's voice. It was thin and breathy and high. I had my reservations, but all that time I had spent staring in awe of that deer, I was thinking about my dad. All that time. In my mind, I couldn't accept it was really him, but in my heart, the blood mingling. So I did it. I walked around to the front door and opened it. The deer was already there, waiting. It stepped past me in its gentle, sneaking way. "Should I get Mom?" I whispered. No, it said. "Let her sleep." It sniffed around the house like it hadn't been there in a long time. The deer's hooves were quiet on the carpet. It didn't seem to remember its way. It walked halfway into the bathroom and backed out like it hadn't meant to go there. Finally, the deer looked at me. "Take me to your room, buddy," it said. I did. I walked to my room and it followed me. It looked around like it was afraid of being caught. So was I. It felt like we were doing something wrong. It was dark in my room. I went to turn on my lamp, but the deer walked in front of me. "Can we lay down together?" the deer asked softly. I nodded my head. I crawled into bed and pulled the covers back for the deer to lay down beside me. It was a small bed. As the deer pulled itself awkwardly up onto the mattress, its antlers grazed my head, and I winced. I pulled away to the far edge. Finally, it settled on its haunches, and I pulled the covers over us. Its flank was against me. It was freezing cold. My dad had never been this cold. The deer raised a hoof and laid it over my chest. Its breath blew in my face. "Thank you, buddy," it said tearfully. "Thank you for letting me into your home." "You're welcome," I said, looking up at the shadow of its massive head staring back at me. "I've missed you," it whispered. Then it brought its cold mouth to my cheek and licked me. I pulled away in disgust. Its tongue was slimy, and it stunk. "Oh, I'm sorry, buddy," it said tearfully. "I'm so sorry." "What's my name?" I asked suddenly. My body was stiff. I couldn't move for the weight of the deer's hoof holding me down. It side-eyed me. It didn't answer for a long time. "I'm sorry, buddy. I don't remember. Thank you for letting me in. Thank you." I stared up at the ceiling. I didn't know what to do. The deer licked my cheek again. I screamed as loud as I could. The deer jumped. It raised its hoof from my chest and tried covering it over my mouth. It clattered against my teeth and split my lip, leaving red marks and streaks of dirt on my chin. I kept screaming. I managed to scoot away and tumble down to the ground. I heard my mom calling out to me, rushing down the hall. The deer rose from the bed and towered over me. I looked up fearfully and met its eyes. "Love you, buddy," it said. Then, in an explosion of glass, it leapt through my bedroom window. I had to get stitches in my lip. I never was angry at the deer. I knew it was an accident. I'm not sure if I ever saw it again. It's been 30 years. I live in a completely different state. But right now, there's a deer outside with a scar on its side. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. This is Howl's Eve, and remember, you are never alone in the dark.